Welcome to Dreams in Lockdown, a remote audio production for the No.5 project from the Phoenix Theatre and Arts Centre. What you are about to hear is inspired by work from the young people of the King's Arms in Petersfield, written by Rachael Hughes and edited by Charlie Essex. Dreams. We all have them. Admittedly, it's strange how we can continue experiencing the sensations, emotions, ideas, and images of daily life even when we're sleeping. Although most of us like to control aspects of our daily life, what we dream is something we have limited control over, which presumably can be frustrating if you would class yourself as a control freak. You spend 6 years of your life dreaming. If only dreams all linked like a long-standing TV show, you would never run out of entertainment and dreams wouldn't seem, well, random. On the topic of dreams being like TV shows, did you know some people dream in black and white? So let's just say their dreams are a bit more vintage. Even if you don't remember your dreams, don't worry, they still happen. It just feels like when you walk up the stairs and forget what you were going to do. That same feeling of forgetfulness. In fact, 95% of your dreams are forgotten. Our dreams are able to tell us what mental state we may be in. Events such as being chased, attacked, or falling in our dreams could indicate we're feeling a little overwhelmed or vulnerable, which is surprisingly common. You could just say that the human race is just one insecure species. Enjoy.
I'm a detective. Yes, I'm pretty much your modern-day Sherlock Holmes, except get rid of the dramatic fiction and replace with my bosses peering over my shoulders 24/7. Speaking of my bosses, the Detective Inspector of Fraud Squad has alerted the department there's a case of phishing, in which somebody would gain somebody else's personal information by sending bogus links and attachments. They could then use this information to gain access to somebody else's bank account and completely steal their money, which is exactly the case we have on our hands right now. There's not much to go on, as the links were sent under an untraceable email address, and after an interview with the victim, they have no idea who could be behind it all. However, there's no smoke without fire. And luckily, without that glimmer of hope, I don't think I would have stuck at this job for as long as I have. Give it a few weeks, and if you were to imagine a mountain, I'd still be at the bottom of it. No progress whatsoever. That's even with a few sleepless nights and more hours spent at work than I'd planned. The sleepless nights caught up on me, and there I was, hypothetically drifting away above the mountain I was still at the bottom of. My workload didn't seem to drag me down anymore in this serene existence, and for once, falling asleep on the job was almost a blessing in disguise. I dreamt about something I had already experienced before, an interview with one of the victim's close friends, but my dream focused on something I didn't notice at the time. Faint ink marks on the back of their hand. My dream doesn't move its focus from the hand, and subconsciously pieces of the puzzle fit together. The ink marks decoded the same dodgy link that was sent to the victim. I immediately jolt awake and alert my department. A weight was instantly lifted. After an interview with supposedly the victim's close friend, feeling the guilt of what they had done or just the shame of being discovered, they pleaded guilty. And I walk away from the case reminding myself of my age-old advice. No smoke without fire, I guess.
I'm Joseph, and I am 67 years old. I purchased a mansion in my dream last night. I saved up all my money and got it. I'm very rich in my dream. I put up a golden statue of me in the house, flexing my muscles, solid gold. Made me feel happy. I don't have a mansion, and actually I'm poor in real life. Also, I don't have muscles.
I'm Mia, and I'm 17 years old. Of course I dreamed. I dreamt about what I want to do when I leave university. I haven't been to uni in real life yet. I dreamt that once I left, I'd become a rocket engineer. When I launched the rocket in my dream, it broke apart, but it didn't matter, as I carried on flying upwards anyway. I was studying at the University of Malibu, by the way. Very odd.
I'm Lucy and I'm 55 years old. I was walking with penguins in my dreams. It came into my head totally randomly. I love zoo animals, so maybe one day I want to walk with penguins for lots of money. I love going to the zoo actually, and it makes me relaxed. Penguins are relaxing too. It must be something to do with their chilled out lifestyle, maybe.
Sleep, wake up, work, sleep, repeat. I work as a waitress at a cocktail bar. No, sadly not. I work as a waitress at a cafe. Doesn't have the same ring, I know. I've worked at this cafe for 4 years now. It started off great, but it's become a bit of a grind. The business is slowly fading away. I love the people who work there more than anything. My best friend works there and the owners are like adopted family. But the work itself is just boring. Especially when you're getting one customer a day. I sometimes find myself dreaming of it at night. I work in my dreams too. Can you imagine that? Dreaming of work. I basically have a 24-hour continuous shift. Last week, however, I had one peculiar dream. One where I was in control. I knew I was dreaming, but I could choose what happened, who was there and what was happening. I was at work again, but this time I started running the shots myself, ordering this and that and cooking up these ideas in my head. One of them stuck with me. You know how your dreams pick out weird memories and throw them in? Well, this trip to Canada one year, we stopped at this cafe where they sold these little donut things. Now, hear me out. It sounds stupid, but these were like the middle of the ring donut. But instead of chucking them out, they flavoured them and sold them. In my dream, we started selling them and business was booming. We had people from all around turning up for these little donut pieces. Why did it stick with me? Because I couldn't let go of the fact that it might just work in real life. I mentioned it to my boss the next day, who, to be totally honest, laughed at me and told me to stop sleeping on the job. It wasn't till I asked him again at closeout did he take it a little more serious. Something had obviously stuck with him too. He agreed to try it. Fast forward a week. You will never guess what happened. We have a queue for the first time. Turns out a local food critic posted about them a day after we started selling them. It became a local buzz and suddenly we're busy. It sounds ridiculous, but it seems my dreams may be more intelligent than my real self. Who knows what will happen next?
Hello, I'm Matt and I'm 16 years old. I've just left college and I'm training to be an archery coach. I was riding up a hill in my dream to a skate park and there was a massive van stealing pieces from the floor. I tried to help, but sadly I fell into the sea for some reason. And the ground was made up of these colourful blocks. I'm not sure what it means.
It's almost unbelievable what happened 3 years ago. Rewind 3 years, and there I was, 17 years old, in the late hours of the evening, sat at the dining table waiting for my big sister, Penny, to come home from 2 years of travelling. As always, late home. We never really had a mum or a dad to show us the right way in life. They were either always at work or bickering until the sun set. I waited until I was barely able to keep my eyes open, until I decided to finally go to bed. I must have been exhausted, because the next thing I remember is dreaming that Penny had returned home with a new boyfriend, his arm around her shoulder, saying that she'd only come home to collect her things and that she never wants to see me or Mum and Dad again. I woke up, completely dazed and out of sorts. I felt like my next best decision was to walk downstairs to get a glass of water. However, as I quietly walk down the stairs in the darkness, I hear the click of a key entering the keyhole in the front door opposite the stairs. The door swings open and there's Penny, strangely enough with a silhouette of somebody else next to her, a man. Something comes over me, and as soon as Penny flicks on the hallway light, I say, quite possibly the stupidest thing I have ever said. Nice knowing you. Who could be so pathetic to believe that stupid dream would become real? It's my fault we don't talk anymore. Not about the things we used to talk about anyway. I made her leave. Penny was so confused as soon as I uttered those words, but she soon got the feeling that I didn't want to see her again when my coldness continued. She must have thought nobody wanted her. As soon as I saw Penny with another man, I was afraid she'd leave me, so I guess, subconsciously, it was better for me to be the harsh one. At least then I was in control. But I don't want to be in control anymore. I just want my big sister.
Hey, I'm Charlie, and I'm 64 years old. I'm a cleaner, mostly toilets. Lost my 6 pairs of shoes under a tent, and it was pouring down with rain. Then Humpty Dumpty turned up and took them all. I think I might be a little stressed in real life.
I'm Zach, and I'm 21 years old. I'm an actor in real life. In my dream, there were 31 pink carrots riding ants. I was in Scotland on holiday. Carrots couldn't talk. Scotland was the last place I went on holiday. Why carrots? Well, they are my favourite food. Not sure where the ants come into it.
Thank you for listening to Dreams in Lockdown. This has been part of the No.5 project by the Phoenix Theatre and Arts Centre, supported by the Arts Council England. The piece was written by Rachael Hughes, edited by Charlie Essex, and voiced, in order of appearance, by Charlie Essex, Rob Alliston, Clive Essex, Rachael Hughes, Elizabeth Blake, Anna Chloe Morey, Madeline Allison, and William Hughes. Special thanks to the Phoenix Theatre and Arts Centre, Mary Ormond and the Creative Writers Group, the Arts Council England, freesound.org, and Mandy May and the team at King's Arms Petersfield. Thank you for listening. And just one last question. What's the craziest dream you've ever had?